What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey, where I believe, based on things I see on the internet, it's my job to talk you off the ledge that the Cowboys are okay and the season's not over. Cowboys lose 19-9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who are you mad at? Who should you be mad at? Leave in the comments who you're mad at. I want to start here with the Cowboy game. I think being a fan of a sports team makes most people insane people. It makes you crazy. Because you want your team to win, so sometimes you convince yourself your team's going to win even if they're not supposed to win. And the game against the Chiefs, on Twitter at JC1053, somebody asked in the morning, once we knew Tyron Smith was out, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you the Cowboys are going to win? And my answer was 2.7. Because the Cowboys weren't supposed to win this game. I want to play a game with you guys. Now, we'll go through the guys who didn't play well, who and why, who you can be disappointed in, who it's weird to be mad at. We'll go through all of that. But I want to start with this. Do the same thing the Cowboys did not have available to them and do it to the Chiefs. And tell me how you think they play. Okay? We're going to take their number one receiver. So Tyreek Hill's out. That's your Amari Cooper, who was out. Now we're going to take away Tank Lawrence and Randy Gregory, so their two best pass rushers. That would be Chris Jones, who destroyed the Cowboys, and Frank Clark. We'll take those away. So now they're down their two best pass rushers and their number one receiver. Now we're going to take their left tackle, Orlando Brown, because you don't have Tyron. And, by the way, their right tackle gave up like 50 million sacks, and now we get to put another one of him at left tackle. How did the Chiefs play that day? Oh, and at halftime, we're taking away Travis Kelce, your second best pass catcher. Like the Cowboys lost CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys weren't supposed to win that game. Now, it doesn't mean that they couldn't have won that game. And had they gone out there and beaten the Chiefs, despite the circumstances that they had, on the road, add that in, against a good team, add that in. Had they done that, then they would have announced themselves on every morning show in the country as the favorite to win the Super Bowl. And I get that everybody wants their team to pull off that feat and be like, hell yeah, we're the best. Doesn't matter how many people you take away. Well, what's the salary cap? $70 million of yours was watching. Cowboys weren't supposed to win that game. I didn't anticipate the Cowboys to win that game, but there were things in that game that did not go the way that I thought, both positive and negative. So let's move over to that. Positively, I did not anticipate the Cowboys holding the Chiefs to under 20 points. Beginning of that game, it looked like the Chiefs were about to hang 50, and it was about to be Denver all over again with more points. But I tell you what, Dan Quinn and that defense, they find a way over the course of a game to adjust and figure it out and figure out what is this team trying to do to us and how are we going to slow it down. And they did it again this week. So kudos to Dan Quinn and that defense, without their two best pass rushers, giving your team, the number one offense in football, a chance to win a football game if you could just score 20-something points. That's all you had to do. You could have won a football game. So salute to those guys on defense. Bunch of no-names and Micah Parsons. That's what was out there, and they got the damn job done. Speaking of Micah Parsons, holy cow, dude. He's going to have like 14 sacks as a guy that spends half his time playing off-ball linebacker. Like, Micah Parsons. Now, maybe if you drafted Rashawn Slater, you could have blocked at left tackle and you could have – no, Parsons. It doesn't matter. Parsons was – the dude is freaking incredible. He is a guy who's going to transform your entire defense, and he's the biggest reason that you were able to, with a bunch of guys that nobody in the NFL thinks are really good players, Parsons is the biggest reason that you were still able to limit the Chiefs to 19 points. Now, where we do need to talk about what in the world happened is offensively. And a big part of what in the world happened is, first I need to talk people off the ledge about Kellen Moore, because I was saying, oh my God, Kellen Moore's had an awful day. What are you talking about? Look, if you can't block, catch, throw, and kind of can't run, you're blaming the offensive coordinator? Block, catch, throw, run. What offensive coordinator did you have in mind that was going to overcome that? They don't exist. So when Dak on a 3rd and 2 throws a covered swing pass to Zeke and they gain no yards, when Dak throws the ball behind the line to Cedric Wilson because that is where Cedric Wilson's supposed to be on that play, like that does not mean that those two plays were designed as, hey, throw it to Zeke for 0 and, hey, throw it to Cedric for a loss. There are other people running routes. That's the way the quarterback opted to go with the ball. So if you want to be mad at somebody, you get mad at the quarterback, who I'm a defender of. Dak, over a half decade, has proven he's one of the better/best quarterbacks in the league. So he can take it. Dak, partially because they couldn't protect him, and partially because he was missing his best receiver, and in the second half, his 2 best receivers, and the other receivers couldn't catch, had a bad day at the office again. Now, having 2 bad days at the office in a span of 3 games for a $40 million quarterback, if you want to criticize him, feel free. Just add the context of your left tackle was getting his butt kicked. Your left guard, Connor McGovern, in his first start got to meet Chris Jones, one of the best pass-rushing defensive tackles in football. And he had a rough go of it, ladies and gentlemen. So when Chris Jones is in your lap every play and Frank Clark keeps whooping your left tackle, right tackle was getting beat some. Zach Martin got beat once. Biotish can't handle those interior guys. When all of those things are happening, you might have an off day. But again, quarterback's $40 million man. If you expected him to play better, I expected him to play better. He couldn't have played great because you can't play great if people don't catch the ball and you can't block. Just doesn't happen. But even on that first drive, the first throw was a misfire. The second throw that was a completion to CD was underthrown. There were a lot of plays in that game where you want your quarterback to throw a better ball, and he didn't. And I also think part of what happened is by the time you got 3 or 4 drives into the game, he goes, wow, they can't protect me. I got to get the ball out. And so you had a bunch of checkdowns that lead to plays where you were hoping to gain a lot more that gained nothing or negative yardage. So look, those are human things that happen to football teams. But I would keep in mind when talking about Cowboys versus Chiefs, on the road against a good team, you were a 2.5-point underdog, and that was before it was announced that Tyron Smith was out. You weren't supposed to win that game. If you wanted I guess that's my biggest thing, is leave in the comments. Like, who are you mad or really disappointed? Like, God, he was supposed to. Connor McGovern was supposed to block Chris Jones all day. The Terrence Steele was supposed to become a good left tackle immediately. I get Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown need to catch the ball. You'd like Dak to play better, even with his tough circumstances. But outside of that, what? And those are things, as I'm in talk you off the ledge mode, Dak Prescott not playing well is not going to be a consistent thing. This is the top offense in the NFL by both points per game and yards per game. Your quarterback's really good. Dak having an off game isn't going to happen a lot. Teams being able to go out there and, here's your blueprint again, right? They played a bunch of man coverage and they loaded up to stop the run. You couldn't beat it. Yeah, because you didn't have receivers or your offensive line and your backup receivers couldn't catch. So, again, the blueprint is not a thing. It's not a thing. It's something that was able to work a couple of times when either your receivers were hobbled or weren't playing and your starting offensive line wasn't out there. Maybe you worry about that, the offensive line in general, even when you get Tyron back, that they're just not the dominant force that they once were. But you were supposed to lose this game. Defense was a positive surprise. Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in football. Rush the passer, always, always. Maybe not always, but almost always. Lots of the time, rush the passer. Don't waste Von Miller. Playing him back there is Sean Lee, okay? Let him be Von Miller. So, yeah, I guess because I went into the game realistically looking at what was in front of the Cowboys, I thought they were going to lose, and if they'd won, it would have been really cool. But I think a lot of people went into that game expecting the Cowboys to go spank the Chiefs in Arrowhead, whatever it's called now. I refuse to use new names. A lot of people, I guess, really thought you were going to go into Arrowhead without $70 million of your salary cap, without your top receiver, your left tackle, your two best pass rushers, and we're going to beat a team that's been in, 2 or 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. I didn't expect that. You shouldn't have either. Okay? All right, leave in the comments what you're mad about. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. I love you. Bye.